What's up everyone? So a few months ago I picked up a super old laptop from Reddit Hardware Swap. It's the HP ZE4900 and it's housing a 1.7 GHz Celeron, 480 megabytes of DDR memory, a 40 gigabyte padded hard drive, Intel integrated graphics, and Windows XP 32-bit. Now I know what you're thinking, this is such a beast of a machine, how much should I actually pay for this? Well, using my elusive and swift bartering techniques, I actually got it down to about $30 shipped. So my first instinct when this thing arrived was to install some sort of Linux distro on it and play around with it. But before I do that, and I'm guessing it has to be pretty soon because I think the hard drive is dying, I decided, let me install some games and see how well this thing can run older titles and possibly modern titles if I can get them to work correctly. So that's precisely what I'm doing. Now, before I get into that, let me just give you guys a little bit of a background on this laptop. It retailed for about $1,000 in 2004, 12 years ago, and I just bought this thing for $30. So that's about a 97% decrease in price. And assuming it follows a linear curve, then that means that it decreased 8% in price every single year. And just to kind of compare, and I know this isn't a completely fair apples to apples comparison, that's like the Titan XP costing about $36 in 2028. That's an insane drop. So kind of just keep that in mind when I run these benchmarks and explain my experience with this laptop to you guys. Now, the games that I tested on this laptop are all from its era, and there's one game that's about 6 years before this laptop was released. Now, I did want to use modern titles, maybe some lighter games like Minecraft and League of Legends, but unfortunately, I ran into an array of issues with DirectX, with Java, and with Visual C++, and so I couldn't install those games on this laptop, and I couldn't play them portably on some kind of USB disk. So that's why a lot of these games are a lot older, and I only have 3 of them benchmarked. I do think that the hard drive had something to do with it, but I have to do some testing to make sure. So starting off, we have the 2002 installment of the Elder Scrolls series, Morrowind. The game auto-optimized to the lowest settings and the second lowest resolution, 800 by 600 upon startup. After playing the game at these predestined settings, I turned it down another notch to the absolute lowest to achieve the smoothest gameplay. So at 640 by 480 at the absolutely lowest settings, I averaged 36 FPS inside with a minimum of 26. I had no drastic drops at all and everything felt very smooth, more than playable. Outside was a bit choppier than inside gameplay, but it was definitely still very playable. I averaged 30 FPS with a minimum of 15. It felt fluid, though not as fluid as gameplay inside a house or shop, and I did experience some hiccups here and there with outside or combat. The second game I tested is considered an RPG classic, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, the game ran decently. It definitely was not as smooth as Elder Scrolls, but with some settings tweaked, and by settings tweaked, I really mean putting everything on the absolutely lowest settings, I had fun playing the game. Average was 14.8 and the minimum was 10. It sounds awful, but it really was not as bad as one may think. The only time when the game was completely unplayable or even crashed was doing big explosions, which did not happen too often. The last game I tested was definitely the oldest out of all of them, being released in 1998, but it's still considered a timeless classic, Half-Life 1. It was most certainly the smoothest out of all of the games I tested, but that was expected considering its age. FPS depended on the map that you chose, with heavier maps weighing down gameplay and making it sluggish. Overall though, it was a great experience with very smooth gameplay. So overall, the laptop did not run games very well, and I kind of expected that. Honestly, I just wish I had more time to run diagnostic tests and mess around with the hardware a little bit, because I could not install a lot of other titles, modern or older. So I'm including Minecraft, League of Legends, the original Mafia, the original Portal, and a ton of other games that just wouldn't install on this laptop. So I do eventually plan to revisit this topic and test out the laptop a little bit more in the future, maybe reinstall a different hard drive or change some of the cache settings in Windows, because it did have a lot of installation errors and that affected a lot of the tests that I was able to run. But for being 12 years old, I do believe that it deserves at least some kind of recognition, so I'll give it some kind of lame award, and that would be that. So that's it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, then definitely give it a like, and if you thought it was interesting and you want to share it with your friends, then definitely send it to them, all of that stuff. And if you loved it, then definitely subscribe, because I have more content like this coming out soon. And like always, I hope you guys are doing well on your finals for those of you in school, and I hope you guys are enjoying work for those of you that are not in school. And if you're not in either of those, I hope you're just enjoying life, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.
We'll be